Well, hello everybody. This is Pastor Mike, and we're here to keep on building. We're here. We're building up. We're building up towards very close to our summit, to our the apex of our life alignment values that we've been talking about. And today we're going to talk about vision. Or we're going to talk about last week or last session we were talking about desire. Now I want to talk about how you turn desire into vision. So what is vision? I'm sure that, being in your profession, you've heard a lot of seminars, you've had a lot of teaching, you've had, you have meetings, you have all these things, and I'm sure that vision has been a topic of discussion more than once in your career, more than once in your profession. And so we want to pick up on this thing because some things may not be relevant the first time that we hear it. It might not be something that we're concerned with yet. If you've just entered the PNP, if you're just starting your career, you've just walked through the door of opportunity, even though you've heard discussions and you've heard seminars and you've had meetings about vision, but maybe it wasn't yet relevant to you. And so the reason why we need to hear these things over and over is because different things become relevant to us at different points in our life. Even though we've heard them, even though we've been a part of meetings or what have you in the past, as we are advancing, but it might be at a specific moment in our life as we are actually progressing, as we're actually moving through these life of alignment values that I'm talking about and that others have presented before unto you, is that at a certain point these things may not be relevant right now, but at a certain specific moment in time it may become relevant in the process of your growth. Maybe you've just achieved an area in your life, maybe you've just entered into an area in your life where vision is super relevant. It's not just something that we talk about, but right now it really is speaking to you. It's really something super important to you now. And so even though we've heard it, and even though you're going to keep hearing it, you're going to hear it from others as well, these different values that we've been talking about, right now, for you, it might be the most relevant thing that you can hear. And so again, last session we talked, we quoted Dr. Miles Monroe. He said, vision is as close as your deepest desire. But let me change the emphasis a little bit. Vision is as close as your deepest desire. Once you have a desire, once you've discovered that desire that we were talking about in our last session, and you begin to allow it to be the burning drive in your life that you're looking for, it will help you move into this arena of vision, or this place of vision in our lives. I just want to share a little quick testimony with you, my personal testimony about vision, because the last secular job I had before coming full-time here to the Philippines, I was working in steel fabrication, and I had about 20 people, employees, working directly underneath me. I was a middle management person employed by the company, and I had my direct superior before the boss, so I was pretty high in the company. And in that secular job that I had, my superior, he wasn't only challenging me, but he was challenging everybody in our department. He kept challenging us about our vision. Now his purpose was, he was challenging us about our vision, about where we saw ourselves. Where do I see myself, say 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now in the company, in my profession as a fabricator, a steel fabricator. And he kept challenging us on what's your vision. Every time he would gather everybody up for a group discussion, every time he would gather up all of the employees we had 2 or 3 different levels and different managers in there, and sometimes he was the general manager for everybody, and he'd gather us all up, and he would talk about what's your vision, where do you see yourself in the next few years, what do you want to achieve within the company, where do you want to go? And he kept using that word vision. Well, he didn't know my background, because vision is something that our church, the church that I was attending at that time, vision was something we talked about all the time. And where's the church going? Where are you going inside the church? What are you doing? I was trained in it. I went to Bible school. I taught Bible schools. I still teach in Bible schools. And vision is a huge topic for us, because it's a huge topic in the Word of God. It's a big topic in the Bible. And he kept challenging my vision. And his intention was to challenge us to strive for greater things within the company. And but every time he said the word vision, I saw ministry. What he wanted me to see was my place in the company. But when he said the word vision, what I saw internally was ministry. And not just any ministry, but ministry in the Philippines, because I was feeling a very strong call at that time to the Philippines. And when I finally came to the Philippines, when I first came here in 2005, I was trying to get the monkey off my back. I was trying to get this vision out of my head, and I thought if I just go to the Philippines and just do a couple of weeks, use my vacation time in the Philippines, preach a little bit, and I'll feel better, and then I can go back to my regular life and go back to work and really focus, really concentrate on my job. That's what I needed. I needed to be able to really focus on my job. But unfortunately, when I came to the Philippines, I fell in love with the Philippines. I was only here for 2 weeks, and it completely wrecked me. It completely changed my life. And the vision that had been out there in front of me suddenly became more real than ever before. And as far as focusing on my secular job, I couldn't do it anymore. And within just a few months after returning back, everybody there said I was crazy, and people here in the Philippines say I'm crazy. But the vision that was inside of me was, I couldn't let it go. And when I resigned, my boss said, "Why?" Because they liked me. They saw a future for me. They were making space for me. That we were talking about a lot of money being earned within the company, and a lot of money being earned by me. And they said, "Why? What are you doing? Why are you giving up your job? Why are you giving up your career?" And I said, "Well, it's your fault." I turned to my boss, because he asked me directly, and I turned to him directly, and I said, "It's your fault." I said, "You kept challenging my vision, and my vision isn't in the company. My vision is in the Philippines. My vision is in the ministry that God has called me to do." And he said, if I had known that, I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have said anything, because they didn't want me to quit. They wanted me to stay. But my vision was someplace else. What is your vision? Your vision is very important. It will direct your life. Just like I'm sharing with you, it directed my life. I was successful. I was moving I was in my secular career and my job. I was being successful, but it wasn't my vision. I enjoyed the job. I enjoyed every aspect of the job, but it wasn't my vision. It wasn't my burning passion on the inside of me. And unknowingly, this man, every time he said vision, he was being used by God to push me into my real vision. And Habakkuk chapter 2, Verse 2 and 3 says, write the vision, engrave it plainly upon the tablets, so that the one who reads it may run with it. For the vision is yet for the appointed time. It hurries towards the goal of fulfillment. It will not fail, even though it delays. Wait patiently for it, because it will certainly come. It will not delay. And I want you to understand how powerful and relevant the Bible, the Word of God, is as a life alignment manual for success. This scripture verses, these two verses that I just read out loud to you, are so relevant, so powerful, so potent that it gets quoted by everybody. These two verses, we're not talking about the rest of the Bible. We're talking about these two verses right here to believers, Christians, to atheists who are, non-Christians, to agnostics, other world religions, motivational speakers all over the world quote these two verses of Scripture. Life coaches quote these. Why? Because they are so powerful. They're so potent into your life. And they are not ancient texts that are irrelevant to our life or have nothing to do with it. These two verses are very, very important to your advancement, to your progress, to your profession, to your personal life, to every aspect of your life. These two verses are super important. You name it, from every walk of life, people quote these scriptures because the truth of these scriptures is universal and powerful. These verses here are some of the single most important tools available to you for life alignment success. And they're also highly overlooked and underestimated. These verses all by himself, if you observe to do it, has the power to completely transform the quality of your life, the direction of your life, the experience of your life, and to align your life to success. So I just want to share briefly what these verses are saying, outline them for you so that you can apply them to your life. If you will apply this, and I'm sure that you have as police officers and in your seminars, trainings, meetings, I'm sure that your superiors and your seminar leaders have requested and required you to write out in written form the vision you see for your life. So number one is write the vision. Write it. When you write the vision, you predetermine the outcome. You're literally writing your own future. But if you don't write it down anywhere, it's not going to happen. When you write down the vision, you are making it real. When you say, this is what I want, this is what I envision for my life, this is the future that I desire to live in, this is the fulfillment, this is what I see as being fulfilling to my life. When you write that down, you are writing your future. You are predetermining the outcome of your life. And your life gravitates in the direction of your most dominant thoughts. What are the things that you think about the most? And whatever it is that you give the most thought to, the most consideration to, that it becomes the most thought of thought in your life. If I can put it that way. That sounds funny, but if I can put it that way, if the thing that you think about the most will be the thing that you gravitate to it. It'll be the thing that you move toward. It will be the thing that's so dominant in your mind that your eyes are looking to see it happen. You're looking for that opportunity for it to come to fruition. You are changing your own perception. You're changing the way you see things, and you are looking for that to take place. And your life will gravitate towards that thing happening in that way. Don't underestimate how powerful this is just by simply writing it down. Why do you need to write it down? So that you think about it, so that it dominates your thinking, so that you see it, so that you read it, so that you meditate on it, so it becomes the dominant thought in your life. When you do this, you write down the vision and you write it down and you put it someplace where you see it, so that like I do, I write down what I want to see happen in our church, in our ministry, in our outreaches. I write it down, I put it someplace where I'm going to see it all the time. Like here in my office, I post it up over the light switch so that every time I come in and go out of the office, I see that and I read it. Now, I may or may not give much thought to it at the moment, but it still gets inside of me. And consciously and subconsciously, I am working on doing that, and I'm looking for those things to happen. I'm looking for the opportunities for those things to happen, so that later on in the year, I go back and I really look hard at my list, the vision I've written for the year, and I realize, ooh, I fulfilled this and I fulfilled this and I took care of this. Oh, I still need to go back and take care of this one. I need to work on this one. And wow, some of these things I wasn't even trying to, but I fulfilled them. Why? Because I wrote them down, and as I wrote them down, and just writing it is powerful. And whether you realize it or not, whether you're conscious of it or not conscious of it, you are working towards fulfilling that vision for your life. And not only for a year, but for your life, for your career, your profession that you're in, for your personal life. Where do you see yourself going? What do you see happening in your life? Put it in written form. Write it down in written form, your desired future. And you will see it come to pass step by step, little by little. You'll start to build that thing subconsciously and consciously. You start doing it. The second thing he says in the verses in Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 2 and 3 is engrave it plainly on tablets of stone. Well, we don't write on tablets of stone anymore. We don't engrave things into stone anymore. But we have our pen, we have our paper, we have our tablets, we have our personal tablets. We have our cell phones. We have a myriad of ways, many ways that we have available to us to put down in written form and to engrave it deeply. What do I mean by engrave deeply? That word engrave means to cut deeply. Not just scratch it, not just simply write it, but to cut it deeply. Well, when I think of cutting it deeply, when I am writing something, when as a student, if you're a student, they want you to not only write and to read and to say, they want you to, in as many ways as possible, when you're writing, in order for this stuff to get into you and for it to become memorable and usable and useful to your life, they want you to incorporate it in many ways. Reading it is one way, writing it is another, repeating it out loud is another way. And the more of these different methods that you use, the easier it is for you to memorize and to retain that information and for it to become useful into your life. The same principle is true here when he says to engrave it. It means to cut it deeply. Use every method at your disposal to get this vision deeply ingrained into yourself so that it will be useful. Cut it deeply. Not just scratch at the surface, but cut it deeply into your life. Engrave it into your life. Write it down and put it someplace where you're constantly seeing it. Put it at your desk at work. Put it up, paste it up on the wall at home, wherever you go. Put a copy of it in your wallet or into your purse, or write it down someplace where, put it in the CR so that every time you go in the CR, you see it written there and you're engraving it upon the tablets of your heart. Get it engraved deeply into you. Make it plain. Put it into the clearest words available to you. Whether that's Ilocano or Tagalog or English, whatever is the easiest for you when you read it and to understand it, so that it's clear, it's simple, it's easy, plainly written, plain to understand. Third, run with it. Take it and run with it. It should be so easy to read and understand that anyone who reads it, let other people read your vision. Anyone who reads it would be able to work on accomplishing it. They will understand it, know where you're going, know what it is you desire to do. And that they themselves, when they read it, could run with it and do the same thing. It's so clear and so easy to understand. And not just for you. Don't make it just easy for you to understand, but make it so clear that anybody could understand it. So let others see and catch your vision. Share your vision. Talk about your vision. Spread it out. Get it out there for everybody. And others will be able to help you accomplish your vision. When other people can see what it is that you want to do, when they can see where you want to go, when they can catch your vision and know what it is that you want to accomplish, they can come in to your life from the unknown. They can come from the left, they can come from the right, they can come from your superiors or your peers, or they can come from people you don't even know, but they saw your vision and they say, hey, I saw your vision, I read your vision, I understand, and I think I can help you with this point or help you with this portion of your vision. It's exciting to them. When they can see what it is you desire, they will catch your fire, they will catch your desire, and they can help you achieve your vision, your goal in life. In Proverbs chapter 29, verse 18, it says, where there is no vision, people perish. That word perish means they're let loose, they're undisciplined. You have to have a disciplined life, and the discipline comes in the vision. When you have a vision, you will discipline yourself to the vision. But where there is no vision, the people are undisciplined. They're let loose. They are unrestrained. Horses don't do. A horse will not do you a whole lot of good until you can put reins on it and direct its strength. It has a lot of power, but it's not useful power to you until you can put reins on it. The same thing is true with a vision. A vision puts a bridle in your mouth. It puts reins in your hands. It directs all of that energy to achieving the goal. No vision, no purpose. Just loose, wandering. Just living from moment to moment, hoping to make it, but never able to fulfill anything. This is the power of vision. It takes all of your life's energy and focuses it towards a future goal instead of just wasted energy. People who have little or nothing to live for will die early. That happens. You see people, they retire and they don't have a plan for after retirement, and very soon after they retire, they die. Why? Because they didn't have a vision. They didn't have a plan. They didn't have a purpose in existing anymore. Their whole purpose was their job. Once they didn't have the job, they gave up on life. They expired. Happens many, many times. But when people have a reason beyond the job, when they have a vision beyond retirement, they tend to live much longer. And that brings us to our fourth point that I want to finish with here in this session is the fourth point in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2 and 3 is to be patient. Be patient with your vision. Impatience leads to frustration and quitting, throwing up your hands and saying, I've had enough of this. You didn't have a strong enough vision. If you can just throw up your hands and walk away in impatience or in frustration, if you quit, you can't cross the finish line. If you quit, you have to live with the regret of what if. Be patient and tenacious and to the vision, and it will come to pass. But you've got to hang on. Just like we said, is your desire strong enough so that when you're building with your vision, you can hang on through to the end with passion and grit. So you have to write it, you have to engrave it, you have to run with it, you have to be patient with it. Last session we said desire is action, but vision is concrete. It's the building blocks that makes for the life that you want to see fulfilled. Well, we thank you for your time in this session. We believe that we're all building together towards our ultimate goal, and that I pray that we have been helping you towards that ultimate vision of your life, the summit, the apex of your life, where life is fulfilling and not empty. God bless you. We'll see you the next time.